Alright everybody, welcome to my game review for Horizon Forbidden West. I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault here today. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this game. So, I have beaten the game. I've gotten almost every trophy in it. And as far as, let's take a look here, game progression, I'm 80% done, almost 81% done with all the little things. I have to collect some more legendary items. I need to go through and scan a few variations of creatures, but for the most part, I've got most of them, and I think I've got the ones that you can only get once, like the, where is it? Spectre Prime. I think that's the only one that you can only see once. All the rest of them you can come across pretty much at any time, so I should be good to go on the road for 100. I don't need to get 100% on all that to give this game a review, so let's get into it right now. With that being said, first and foremost, the game is absolutely stunning. It is beautifully rendered. The character models are insanely great, detailed, beautiful. The landscape is phenomenal. The Forbidden West has a variety of biomes. Each one is unique in how it looks. You've got a desert biome, a kind of a woodsy area, a frozen one that's up with with the mountains and the snow, and then you've got a jungle one far out west with beaches and so forth. And each one is distinct in how it looks and feels and how you traverse through it. So it's quite amazing. The characters themselves are great looking, and it really lends to using the photo mode. I mean, if we look at just the detail, she looks human, and the NPCs and all that, they are almost equally as good. I mean, especially in cutscenes and all that. The game plays out like an interactive movie, basically. The draw distance is fantastic. You can see so far away. Look at that long neck way out there. We are a good distance from him, and we can see him drawn in from very far away. Fantastic. Overall, just a beautiful rendered game. The voice acting, I would say 90% of it is good to excellent, with the other 10% being okay. There's the occasional voice actor that comes across a little on the goofy side or something, but for the most part, very well done. The story itself is compelling. It's I don't know if it's as good as the original, but it's definitely close. I won't go into any spoilers, but basically, Aloy heads west to get Gaia back on track because some things happened, some people showed up, and what we thought we solved in the first game, we didn't necessarily solve. It looks like Silence betrayed us, and so there's a lot of interesting stuff there. We got returning characters like Silence and Aaron. You have plenty of new characters like Zoe and just some really cool, great characters. Here we have a tribe member, and there are several different tribes in the West, each with a very unique look to them. Unique color schemes, unique styles to their armor, and a lot of that armor you can get. Like there's a Tanakh armor there. There's an Osram one there from the last game for the most part. We got the Karja, of course, in the last game. Nora. Utaru. You can see these distinct designs. More Nora, more Tanakh Karja. So a lot of different looks to the armor. Each one has its own special appeal to it. You can change the colors of them. You can change your face paint. There's a lot of customization you can do to your character throughout this game, which is fantastic. The mechanics of the game are very nice. As always, the bow is probably one of the most versatile and most widely used weapons in the game. I know I used my first hunter bow throughout a good early portion of the game. Quite a significant amount of it, actually. More than you'd think you would. And what do we got here? So that was great. And you've got the return of stuff like the tripcaster and the different types of bows. And you got some new weapons. You got like a spike slinger and a gauntlet that launches these spinning. It's almost like a highlight disc of some sort. You know, I know highlight uses a ball, but it's very similar to that in its regard. It's pretty cool, actually. Got our pool caster that we can use to open up walls and stuff like that. There's a lot of versatile tools in here. Your spear is your main weapon for melee. In fact, it's your only weapon for melee. And it has several different upgrades it can get on it. Will allow you to do things from picking out stuff called Fire Gleam, which will open up different areas for you to explore, to being able to destroy these metal flowers you come across, which will also bar your way as you journey throughout the game. So it's pretty wild what different things, the kind of versatility there is in the game as far as that goes. Some other neat new features are the glider. So, you know, the open world games often have some sort of paraglider or something along those lines, right? Let's go ahead and, spoiler alert, there's a new mount. And it flies, which is great. And it picks you up, which is even better. So, okay, I'm trying to go up. Why can't I go up? Really? Not gonna let me fly at all. Okay. So anyway, there's the glider. That's a bad example. Let me get him further away from the town. Maybe that's what it was, is that he's too close to the town and it's making him wonky. I don't know. Alright, come and get me, bud. Now we can go up high. So the glider's nice. The glider does not have a limit on how long you can glide. It's basically, you know, that it's not stamina related or anything like that. Like in some games, you have a certain amount of stamina before it wears out. The glider will glide until you elect for it not to glide anymore, or you hit ground or a tree or something like that that disrupts your flight. So from way up high like this, we jump off our bird, hold down the square button, and there we are. We're gliding. Look at that. Oh, and there's a thunder jaw down there, right? Yeah. That's nice. You can control it in air. Pretty cool, huh? You hit circle to stop. Call your bird back, and he'll pick you right back up mid-flight. Look at that. That's kind of neat. All right. The combat mechanics of the game are good. The ability to aim your bow or your spear. Let's go ahead and go back to our regular bow. But it uses a standard L2 to aim, R2 to fire. You can hot swap two weapons. You have to enable that in the options. It's not the default on. And you have a very highly customizable game experience for each player. So it does come with standard difficulties. Everything from story mode, which makes everything very easy. I'll go into that sometimes. Oh yeah, you can also do that. I'll go into that sometimes if I'm doing certain, I want to get certain pictures and stuff like that where I don't want to, I got to get close to a creature. I don't want to get wrecked by him because I'm going to be jumping in and out of photo mode to get some shots. But let's take a look at the options and the settings here. So you got your story. Makes it very easy overall, very simple to go through. You've got your easy difficulty, which is a little tougher. Normals, which what we did our playthrough on. Hard and then very hard. I will definitely do a very hard eventually. Then you have something like this. You have custom. So custom, you can really make the game your own. It's got a lot of different options. So you can make the damage to you story mode where you barely receive any damage, but your enemies are very hard to hit. You can turn easy loot off and on. All the stuff that normally gets destroyed when you destroy a creature, if you didn't use tear to knock off the pieces, well, now you can go ahead and put that on if you need to do some farming and you want to save yourself some time. Concentration duration, default, long and longer, so you can have that set up in different ways. You can have auto concentration turned on. That's something I did recently. So as soon as I go into firing an arrow, aiming the bow, I'm in concentration. Same thing with auto heal. When I do this, when I get below 50% health, it heals. You've got an explorer and a guided pathfinding and waypoint pathfinding. I left them on explorer, which makes it a little more open for you. It takes, you have to use your head a little bit. Of course, you can customize your buttons, contextual reminders. And slow down your weapon wheel quite a bit if you want. Auto shielding, so as soon as you fall off of something, it'll pop out. I was thinking that might be handy, but then I thought, no, actually not, because if I'm jumping down somewhere and I want to jump down, I don't want that thing popping on and causing me kinds of trouble. Mounts follow roads, just like The Witcher and so forth. Co-pilot mode if you are having somebody that's going to assist you in playing with a second controller, that kind of thing. It's your normal aim assist, auto sprint on foot. I used to have that on just so when I started to move, I would run automatically and sprint, but it turned out to be kind of a hindrance, especially in situations where I had like puzzle rooms, like ruins and stuff like that, where I might have to make a jump somewhere, and there wasn't much room to run. So if I jumped there and then I was in auto sprint, I would just run right off the edge. So I got rid of that. But the auto sprint on mount is nice. Swap move and look, blah blah blah. Camera shake, all that kind of stuff. So all that stuff up top is the main interesting things that you can alter. I think there's something in here too. Yeah, you can have your headpiece off and on. Anyway, that's us. There's a lot of variety in there. A lot of things you can do to customize the game for your own experience and play it how you want. And I'm all for that. I think that's great. Melee is better this time around. There is definitely an improvement on melee. In the first game, it was almost impossible to play with your spear. You pretty much got wrecked every time you tried it. But this time around, it's a little more forgiving. And while we're talking about that, let's take a look at our skills. So as you can see, I'm level 50. That's in the top right-hand corner. You have 4 skill points to distribute right now, which we'll distribute 3 of them. So you've got 6 different skill trees, and they're not hard to fill up. All you need to do is go through the main mission, beat the game, and start doing side quests, errands, all these other little events that pop up, and they will give you skill points. 1 to 3, I think, is the normal number of them that you get. It varies. I still have a few things I need to finish up, and when I do, I should have enough skill points to finish off these Valor Surges that are in there. Now, let's take a look at how the skill tree works. So, Concentration Plus. So, it's a passive boost. It shows you how to enter concentration, and it's a level 4. It gives you 200 max concentration. So sometimes you have concentration there, which will give you a small boost, and then when you get down to here, deep concentration, that's another one. They stack. Here's concentration regeneration, brings it back quicker. Here's another concentration plus. So all those things stack. And it's like that with many, many different types of abilities. Concentration regen, deep concentration, concentration plus, yada yada. Now you also have what's called a Valor Surge. Now there are 2 of these for each separate branch of the skill tree. and each one gives you a unique ability that can assist out any type of any play type, depending on what you do. There's always something in there for you. These things can be leveled up 3 times. It is 1 skill point for the first level, 3, and then 5 for the last. As you can see, this one is Range Master. I like to use this one a lot. At level 3, I get all those buffs when I use my Valor Surge. If you look at the bottom, I'll have to get off our map here. Hold on. This looks like a good spot, right? Okay. So on the bottom right-hand corner, or bottom right-hand corner of the screen, that big purple line, that is our Valor level. And Valor builds up through a variety of different ways, making attacks, getting hit, so forth and so on. It will regenerate, but when you use a Valor Surge by hitting L1 and L2, since she does that little makeup stuff, so now I've got a Valor Surge going, and it only runs for a certain amount of time. The screen is purple while it's in that state. And it will remain so until it runs out. When it runs out, your Valor is drained, and you need to start building it back up through combat. There's some guys over here. We're under the Surge. Let's go ahead and see it's running low. We're doing a lot of damage with it. Alright, now it's over. When it's over, you go back to dealing the normal amount of damage, but as you can see, that little bar is slowly filling back up. It's a great little bonus feature. It gives you something else, a little more nuance to the character there. Alright, you really pissed off everybody. Let's just finish this guy off, and I'm down to a couple of spots right now. I'm just trying to muscle them. Alright. So anyway, as you can see, we've built up almost to level 1 of the Valor Surge again. Now, it can launch at any level, 1, 2, or 3. It's just you get more benefit from the higher level. So it's best, if you can, to wait to use it, but sometimes you really don't have the choice. Right above that bar is a stamina bar, and your different weapons have different abilities that you can activate. So when we pull up the weapon wheel, you can see Deathseeker Shadow in the center of the wheel, and underneath where it says the Advanced Hunter Arrows, you have Triple Notch, High Volley, and Knockdown Shot. Those are 3 different abilities. These are gained through the skill tree, like a triple notch. If I aim and hit R1, now I suddenly have 3 arrows notched, right? That's pretty badass. Now, I'm not going to be hitting 3 different targets with it. But when I do target something, let's go ahead and do that right now. You see we unload a disgusting amount of damage. And we devastated him pretty quick. It uses up a little bit of your weapon stamina. It also uses more arrows. So don't go under the assumption that it's like not without its cost. It has a cost, but definitely worth it in the right situation. Sometimes, like if you're doing a sneak attack, you've got a big creature that you're fighting. Maybe it's a boss type battle or an apex creature. You're not really sure if you can handle it. You come out with a sneak attack. Use your Valor Surge, triple notch your bow. And you go for it. Ow, boy, he hurt me. Oh. Oof. They're chucking rocks at me. Alright, everybody's good. Heal up. So yeah, that's how Valor Surge works and all that. So those are great little features in the game. Definitely you got several different kinds. You can every weapon has its own variety of them. I've got the spike thrower, which is a new weapon. So I've got propelled spikes, spitting spikes, or splitting. I'm sorry, and then a spike trap. The description of what each one of those does is in the proper skill tree where you got the ability in the first place. So, not sure which one you want to look or you want to use, go look them up, check them out, and you'll see. The game also has some interesting little side activities. And these things vary in I don't know. So a big trend in these open world games these days is to have mini games inside of them, right? So, I buy a game like this because I want to go fight machines, override machines, solve this big mystery, and have this wonderful adventure. Then they throw in a game that is called Machine Strike, and it's very reminiscent of, it's like some weird variety of chess, I guess is the best way to describe it, right? And it uses chess pieces. You're supposed to win 7 points by knocking out 7 pieces of your opponent first. And overall, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. It's not something that I'm very interested in. That's one of the things I need to do to get a trophy. That's one of the trophies I'm missing to get the platinum. I think beating all of the players will get me. I only need to beat 2. I beat 1 so far, and it was a slog just to do it. And not because it was hard or anything. It's just it's not very appealing. So I don't like that kind of thing. There's also a melee pit, which is right over here in Chain Scrape, one of the first places you'll come to, the first major settlements. That's basically a place you go in and you use a non-lethal bow and a non-lethal spear, and you spar with different enemies. And the goal is to go through melee pits and all the different, not all of them, but several different settlements, and beat everybody until you can beat the Enduring One, I think his name is, who I guess is the top melee pit fighter. Getting a melee pit was fun. I'll screw around with it every now and then, but overall, not that great. I'm not saying I could have lived without it. I could have used a little more content of a different sort, but it is what it is. I mean, it's not bad. It's definitely better than that Machine Strike game. Another thing you have that's a return from the original game is the groundskeepers here at these different hunting grounds, and these have they're a mixture of they're not bad. They give you some interesting challenges.
Let me know
what the very first one, and it shows you just each one has 3 different trials. Each trial has 3 different levels, which are based on time, on how you can win it, and it's cool. I still have, I think, 1 hunting ground to finish, and like 1 mission in another one to get all those done. Again, these little side activities and all that, I'd almost rather have more missions to do, because I find that a little more fun and engaging, as opposed to these things, which tend to be just kind of like a bit of a grind sometimes and aggravating, but it is what it is. And then in the actual one of the big major settlements we have here, where is it? Not Plainsong, but a little further west. Here we go. The Memorial Grove and the Mall of the Arena. So now the arena was fun. I highly recommend doing the arena as soon as you get there, and get there as soon as you can, because what you do is you win these special medals, and these medals will allow you to buy things
Show me your
from
medals,
a
champion.
vendor that takes them, like her here, Duca. And what she does is she can get you some of the best weapons in the game. And I'm not sure she's got the... Yeah, there's a couple armors too, but the legendary weapons and armor, that's a place to get several of them there. And you win different amounts
Show us what you
of
got, champion.
medals, depending on what you do here. You've got 5 levels. And as you can see, the rewards, 32 arena medals, 54, 131. You win plenty of them to buy all of the really expensive stuff, all of the legendary stuff, so you don't have to worry about saving your medals or anything like that for anything else. You go in here, complete them, you're done. You're good to go. It is a grind. It's frustrating, but each match is the exact same every time. So if you learn your creatures that you're fighting, you equip yourself properly, you put the proper armor on, you put the proper coils and weaves in, and your weapons and your armor, bring the right traps, you're going to get it. But it will be a grind. This is something I ground away a couple days for to get through it, and you know, but I did it at a higher level, and I did it as soon as I had enough to buy the first legendary bow. I bought it, you know, just to give me an advantage. So these are fun. Out of those 4 activities, this is probably the most fun, and this requires you to go through the mission quite a bit, the main mission, before you can unlock this. So, but when it unlocks, I highly recommend taking some time and just grinding your way through it. You do not use resources when you're in here, so when you're in the arena, so feel free to use your most expensive ammo. Feel free to use weapons that you don't normally use, because you know you don't want to burn up all the ammo and have to farm all the stuff to make it. This is it. Way to go. So, anyways,
the arena is always...
I'd give this game a 9 out of 10, basically. I think overall it is probably one of the best games I've played. I won't give anything away, but the way the game ends definitely leads you to know what the DLC is going to be for. There's definitely going to be a DLC pack, and it's very obvious what it's going to involve when you get to the end of the story. Your little side characters, your friends like Aaron and Zoe and Varl and all that, Aloy's no longer the loner that she was in the first game. Now she has a group of friends around her that are her tribe, basically. I mean, she started out as an outcast in the first one, and now she's basically leading her own tribe, which consists of all of these little interesting people from different tribes, different walks of life, that sometimes they don't like each other, most of the time they don't trust each other, but in the end they all work together for the big picture, and it's very satisfying. You'll lose friends along the way, you'll make new ones, there's heartbreak and heartache, but overall the story holds up. No. Absolutely love it. So, like I said, I would give it a good 9 out of 10. It wasn't for some of the distractions like the little side games and all that. I could live without that kind of stuff. I'm glad for the trophies that, like for the machine strike game, you don't have to beat 2 opponents, you don't have to beat them all. That would just aggravate me. I'd probably never go for that trophy. But at this point, I will get 100% on the trophies here. It's just going to take a little time. I've started a new project, and this is something I'll get back to here and there. Get a little bit ahead on the other project, and get a little bored when I come back and just say, you know, tonight I'll finish Machine Strike. Yeah, tonight I'll finish the arena. I'll do this, I'll do that. Well, thanks for joining me. As always, I'm Captain Ricky with the Game Vault. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. Also, don't forget to leave a comment and a like on the video down below. Tell me what you thought of Horizon. I'm hearing a lot of people loving it. And then, of course, you have that small minority of people that says, you know, oh, it's unplayable, or oh, it's this, or oh, it's horrible. You know, I get it. If it's not your type of game, I get it. You know, not every game is for everybody. But to call it unplayable and all that is just kind of ridiculous, I think. But whatever. It is what it is, right? Thanks for joining me. I'll see y'all next time.